Good morning, y'all. Let's start with morning prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of all sins and trespasses, as we forgive all others who sin and trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is your kingdom, your power, your glory, forever and ever. In Jesus' name, praise and worship. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, King Jesus. 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 Thank you. Tengira garamana ura shamana la sieti por hana barata nama atubo shamana la sieti vira luzini. Lidini mi anamoro samana la vane atabara the candidate bahana manada. I decided to give it what it was necessary, not just a run through. So I'm gonna link the first video in the description so you can go see that one that I made. Not discounting what was said and done, but it was just more that needed to come out about it. So let's go into it. The subject is loss and starting over. We have a thing about us, especially if we've been building for a long time and we didn't learn the lesson that the journey is in the building. The journey is in the being and the having and the doing and the knowing and the understanding and the comprehending and the learning about everything that you don't know so that you now know. That's what the journey is about. We have this thing in our mind, body, spirit, and soul. All of them, one of them, sometimes, all the times, where we feel like, oh Lord, I just started over. I just started over. I just started building. My life just started becoming recognizable again. Or I've at least became comfortable with the new me, with the new job, with the new business, with the new whatever it is that's still brand new. I mean, imagine, and there's a lot of mamas out here, but I'm pretty sure can rack it up, hack it up inside of the comment section, where they had no intention whatsoever of getting pregnant a second time, whether it was, or at least as soon. They may have found out they were pregnant, or they may have been planning pregnancy, and then they got this beautiful bundle of joy, and they just now getting into the routine and the joys of being a new mom. Now you know what time to expect your baby to get up. You know what time you're going to put your baby down in order to be in more of alignment with your life, your goals, your dreams, sleep. Your baby is now eating a certain kind of formula, you know, and then boom, either as quickly as they start doing that, they start doing something else, or even more of a surprise. Right in the middle of you getting this together, you end up, no matter how careful you are, finding out that you are pregnant again, right behind this last pregnancy that you just had. Talk about an eye opener, talking about some people may be yelling and screaming and happy and giving God glory and praise and saying, yes, you helping me build my legacy, Lord. You helping me to be fruitful and multiply. While others may be, I just had a baby, I don't know what to do. I don't know how we're going to be able to afford a second one. This, that, and the third, and everything else in my razzle. And the same thing goes on when we ourselves are that baby. When God says, okay, you don't learn how to walk. All right, you don't learn how to run. All right, you don't learn how to sprint. All right, now it's time for you to start flying. Okay, now it's time for you to start blinking, that thing in Charmed where you think where you want to be and you blink and you end up there. And then whatever comes after that, and then whatever comes after that. Or it may be, ooh, I just moved to a new city, a new state. I just started working at a company, started building my own company, and my own company just became super successful. But now, ooh, I'm being told to birth another one. I'm being told to take another job. I'm being told to take on more shifts or less shifts, whatever the change is for you. None of them are wrong. None of them are bad. None of them are not a thing. They're all a thing. But how you feel about it is what it is. It's the loss of how you feel about it. And even the loss of what you're currently doing. You might, I would actually take the old dating advice that won't healthy for dating, and I would put it into this. And I'll explain to you what it is. Some years ago, probably during the era of 2009 and 2020, like between that era, I would be, excuse me, the type of person where I would continue dealing with a person. I would continue talking to a person. I would continue whatever it is that's going on. When I knew from day one, or if it won't day one, day five. If it won't day five, day seven. If it won't day seven, day 14th. If it won't day 14, day 30. But I would know very early on, this ain't it. How I feel in my mind, body, spirit, and soul, what my intuition is telling me, even though I wasn't even truly aware of my sixth sense yet. I wasn't aware of any of my spiritual abilities yet, other than being a prophetess. That's the only thing I knew. I didn't know anything else. But I was still a sensitive enough, and I was wide open enough that my dreams, my daydreams, my visions, how I felt in my body, my clairsentience, all of them were in proper working order, even if I didn't know how to use them, and even if I wasn't aware of them. They all would tell me instantaneously, this ain't it. This friendship is not gonna work out. This situationship is not gonna work out. This relationship is not gonna work out. This is not a thing that's gonna last. This is not a thing that's being built to last. This is not a thing that's meant to be built to last. This thing ain't for me. All these things, and I can keep naming out, but I don't want the video to run out from all the different levels and layers to it, 7 layers deep. But I knew. And my reaction to it and my reaction to it, as well as my action to it, is it would be a sense of disappointment. Because it's like, man, if I could just have this friendship, this partnership, even this situationship, this relationship, this connection, like how much more I believe that my life is going to change. And I just know it's going to change for the better, not the worse. But how much more I believe it's going to change for the better if this situation is allowed and the situation continues to move forward and progress forward. Even though I know, this thing is not going to last. This thing is temporary. This thing ain't even temporary. It's worse than temporary. And yet, I would continue on this for a whole year. I would literally allow 12 months of my life, 365 days of my life to be dedicated to this thing, knowing good and well it's not for me. And every step of the way, what I would be doing is two things. I would be enjoying the ride at the time, however I could enjoy the ride, if it was even possible to enjoy the ride. And then while I was enjoying the ride, I would have one side of my brain that's also slowly but surely getting used to this person leaving on out. It's like, I know this ain't gonna go too far. I know this ain't gonna be a thing. But I'm gonna enjoy the ride while I'm on it. And I'm also gonna go ahead and mentally prepare myself for when the time comes that it's done. But and I'm gonna tell you why I'm telling you this is horrible dating advice, and I would not ever, don't anybody take this advice from me as far as this being connected to dating. But I will say this is the perfect scenario of what you should be doing when it comes down to living your own everyday life, where it's just about you, and it's about you making choices and decisions for yourself, and God making choices and decisions for you. And the reason why that's a perfect advice to have is because most things in life, that's exactly what it is in this training program. They are not meant to last forever. You even got some businesses that will last for 30 years, for 50 years, for 100 years. And yet, if you go back in time and see how it began, what they were doing at the beginning, how things were flowing at the beginning, this business done turned into multiple businesses on a consistent basis, across many, across many years. It's changed. It's not the same items that they may have sold, they don't sell those anymore. Some of them, if they die hard and people have been living them forever, or they've held on. But in order to make sure that their price point got to where it needed to be, their profitability got to where it needed to be, eventually they had to change up some things. They had to switch up some ingredients, whether it's more affordable, healthier, or whatever the situation may be. The intention that they had for this product, for how much it costs, and how much profit they're going to make off of it, how this is going to turn into a powerful asset for them. But other than that, they switched it up and switched it up. They may have switched up the way they looked. They switched up what their sign looked like, what their colors were. They may have switched up the type of cuisine that they sell. They may have switched up the type of people that they want to serve. Do they want to serve to the older crowd, the middle-aged crowd, the younger crowd, the children crowd? Who are the crowds that they want to commit to taking care of? Because that and so many more other details is going to determine their profitability. How this turns into their asset and not just a business, and not just still barely making it or just barely surviving. Well, you got to look at your life the same exact way. For me, I was literally the perfect client for myself. I mean, my entire life. That's what I'm doing. It's gonna hit home for a lot of y'all, but you ain't gonna understand this training. This training is worth every penny and every dime and every dollar and every $10 and $5 bill, every $20 bill, every $100 bill, every $1,000 bill. Everything that I ask for in exchange for using the practice to be able to help you change your life, to show you how to change your life, to help reconnect you with God, to on your side of things, to help show you your purpose that you were meant to serve and you were meant to be served and used to serve. I prayed and I paid a pretty penny for this. Because each one of these levels is something that I myself have lived, including this one, including loss and starting over. You have no idea how much I've lost. If I had the time one day, if you are meant to be a part of it, and I finally spill all of what I've been through, and again, I don't mean my 30s, I don't mean my 20s, I don't mean my teens, I don't mean when I was a child. I don't mean when I was a baby. And I don't even mean when I was in my mother's womb. I mean, whatever I went through and the experiences that I had to have before time even began, all up to this point. You have no idea how much I've had to pay with my mind, my body, my spirit, my soul. How much I have had to pay with my emotions, with my soul and my spirit. What I have had to pay mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually, financially, socially. What I've had to pay for this. So any price that I put on it is priceless. You could never give me enough. So what I ask for is fair. And I need you to understand that. And the reason why I need you to understand that is I need you to understand this. Whatever you end up charging for your purpose, it's because nobody could ever pay you enough for that purpose. Because whatever you went through, whatever training you experienced, all the different starting overs that you had to start over in life, all the losses that you have had to take, all the wounds you have had to receive, all the black eyes and busted lips you had to get, and whatever you went through in order to get to where you are right now, where you know what your purpose is, you know how to use it to serve yourself, you know how to use it to serve God, you know how to use it to serve your community and your family and your children, and on and on and on and on and on, while also taking up the helm when you are being led and guided to pick up the next man or the next woman and say, oh, come on, let's go. Because I've been down this road before. Now it's time for me to roll down your road with you and show you that you can do it. It's time for me to give you that attaboy. It's time for me to coach you and mentor you to be your hierophant, to be your high priestess, to be your prophet, to be your prophetess, to be your minister, to be your big brother, to be your big sister, to be your accountability partner, and say, boom, you got this. I know you got this. I remember when I walked in your shoes. I remember when my mother died. I remember when I lost my fiance that I just knew I was about to start a whole new life with. I remember when my father died. I remember when ties was cut between me and my family for my greatest and highest good and their greatest and highest good. I remember when I had to jump states and figure it out because I had nothing and I had nobody but God and myself. I remember when I had to jump from one business I had been in or businesses I had been in for 10 to 15 years. And overnight, I literally stepped away from it and into the next one. And God literally had to be the one to provide because if it weren't for Him, I never would have been able to keep a roof over my head. I never would have been able to keep clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, or stay in my right mind. I never would have gotten through all that healing that I had to get through, all that childhood trauma and adult trauma I had to go through, all that tragedy I had to heal through, I had to evolve from, I had to elevate from in order to become this person in front of you. So because you see me, you see me. The light that you see in me is Him. All the blessings, breakthroughs, and miracles that you see in me is Him. What you see me doing, my purpose. And I'm serving my purpose, and my purpose is serving me, and I'm using my purpose to serve you. And in all, He's serving all of us on one accord. But it had to come at a cost, and that cost is loss. That cost is lost and starting over. Because I don't care if you literally went from poverty and scarcity to an abundance and prosperity. And then God looks at you and say, okay, I'm not going to take you back to scarcity and poverty. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pause your prosperity. I'm going to slow down the trickle of your abundance. Because it's something that I need you to see, that if I would have allowed that abundance and prosperity to just go rampant in your life, it would have distracted you. It would have cut off the connection between me and you again. Because see, when you was in poverty, when you was in scarcity, I had your ears. I had your eyes. I had your full attention. And I could communicate with you and you could communicate with me and we could communicate with each other. But as soon as I raised up your prosperity level, as soon as I raised up your abundance level, as soon as I made sure that nothing was needed, necessary, or required, I ate up and I left behind no crumbs. All of a sudden, you too tired to get up and talk to me. You can't get up in the morning and talk to me. You can't stop at 12 p.m. and talk to me. You can't get into my word. You can't continue using your baby, your purpose that I gave to you in order for you to be able to change your life. And also, boom, help other people change their lives. Why? Because you're still frostbite. You still angry. You still frustrated. You may be a little bitter. And you feeling some type of way because you looking at the last time you did this. Boom, boom, boom. The house of cards fell down. And so both from a place of fear that if you do it again, the house of cards is going to fall down. And also your fear that as soon as you do it, you know I can't let you stay where you are. Because where you are was the training ground where I put you. Where you are is Goshen where I put you. But now it's time for me to get you out of Goshen and I need to take you to the promised land. Let me tell you about Goshen. Goshen is a place that's literally right next to Egypt. And when Joseph bought his family, when he bought his father and his brothers and all their families to Egypt, he put them in Goshen. Now, when everything hit the fan, when famine hit the fan, when Moses left and came back and said, God said, let my people go, when all of the plagues and whatnot hit Egypt, those things never touched Goshen. Those things never affected everybody living in Goshen. Instead, they just had to live through it and live around it, but they didn't have to worry about it touching them. Imagine a bunch of people that's got something. I mean, you could think about it, because I'm pretty sure you got somebody in your life, at least one person, even people that you don't even know, but you know of that person, where they going through all kinds of hell and high water, but ain't none of that touching you and yours. You and yours is good. They may be feeling some type of way and going through some things, but your family is blessed. Your family is not going without. Your family has more than enough. Your family is healed. Your family is blessed. Your family receives blessings, breakthroughs, and miracles every day. But you look at these people, you see these people that's walking around, and those people are being affected in ways in which you and yours are not being affected. That means you are in Goshen. But when God is ready to take you out of Goshen and take you to the promised land, it's called the promised land for a reason, because Abraham was promised this land. Some of y'all are not looking at the fact that you got a legacy and a seal on your life. You got a calling in your life, and that calling didn't start with you. That calling started with the first Abraham and Sarah that you had in your family. Whoever started your family line, as far back as you can go, it started with that Abraham and that Abraham and that Sarah. And the reason why it started with that Abraham and that Sarah is because they were gonna go to freedom. They were going to be set free from their worries, from their stress. They were going to be set free from prison, from poverty, from scarcity, from sickness and illness, from mental illnesses. They were going to be set free from generational curses and generational trauma and generational tragedy. They were going to be set free. And if they didn't taste it, they passed it along to the next. They pass it along to the Rachel and the Isaac in your family. And then that was passed down to the twins, the Issue and the Jacob in your family. And then it was passed down to the Joseph in your family. And then it was passed down to the Moses in your family. And then it was passed, and you get what we're going here. That's why I say to you, and I say it very, very seriously. If you have the Holy Spirit, the Bible, and many other holy books in this world that God uses to teach you, lead you, and guide you, you will definitely find yourself. You can't look in there and not see yourself. You may see a bunch of names, but instantly these names, really every name, at one time or another, from Genesis all the way through Revelations, you're going to be able to see yourself if you put your name on it. If you make it personal. And you need to. Don't you want to? And I'm going to tell you why I say that and get and end this. Don't you want to make this personal? Because it is personal. What have you lost? Have you lost family members that you love, that you cry about every day? Haven't you lost money, businesses, houses, cars, clothes, people, relationships, connections, friendships, soul tribe, soul family, soulmates? Haven't you lost your hair, your nails, your toes? Well, I hope not your toes, but you get what I'm saying. Have you lost anything? Have you had to start and restart over and over and over and over and over again? Haven't you had to do that? It's like what's up there on P Valley, the show P Valley, when they got to keep doing the reopening. They keep shutting down and they keep having to have a reopening. Over and over and over again, it's a reopening. Something bad is going on or something happens to throw them off their game. And they got to do another reopening. Except for you, instead of a reopening, it's a relocation. It's a reconnection. It's a revelation. It's something that's taking you from where you are in order to get you where you need to go. But first you got to remember, understand where you came from. Woo! I ain't going to be able to do it again. You roll that back and you listen to exactly what was just said. Because I ain't no way in the world I can make it as crispy as it just came out right then. But that's what it is, and that's the key, and that's the light. That's the truth. When you get to that space within yourself, within your mind, your body, your spirit, and your soul, and you attack those things, but you attack them in a good way. You fight those things in a good way. And the great way to fight those things going on in your mind when you start feeling lost is, first of all, what am I losing? How do I usually feel about these things? Like, I want to grab a hold to them and I want to appreciate them now that that's over. Like, when you got on the roller coaster You were scared. If you are a person that are fearful of something, but you do it anyway, you get on the roller coaster and you scared. And while you in the middle of the ride of the roller coaster, you yelling and screaming, somebody else next to you was yelling and screaming. The whole ride could be people yelling and screaming. Some people could be yelling and screaming like, "Woo, it's fun!" While other people could be yelling and screaming like, "Oh, get me off of here! Please get me off of here!" And then when it gets to the last end of the ride, because they shake you up, move you forwards and backwards, and do all that good stuff on that roller coaster before it comes close to the end. And then when it comes close to the end, that's when the roller coaster starts to slow down. You come out of that little alcove thingy, if they have one, and before you know it, the ride is starting right back where it started. And you got some people that's like, man, you know what? That was kind of fun, but I didn't really get to enjoy it. I didn't get to enjoy it because I didn't yell and scream from happiness. I yelled and screamed from fear. Or I didn't yell at all. I just gripped the things that I could hold on to, or grabbed the hold of the person next to me. And hopefully, it's gonna be over. But now that it's over, hold on, I don't want it to be over. When I see all those things I missed out on, exactly. That you getting lessons behind not enjoying it while you're there, while you're in it, while you're in that loss. Because you're going through the same thing that I mentioned earlier when I said how you don't deal with a relationship. You do not go into it knowing this thing ain't gonna work out, knowing this ain't supposed to go no further. Because if you feel like that, and God is not making a way to keep that person in, if they keep leaving out, coming back in, leaving out, coming back in, or you keep leaving out, coming back in, you keep leaving out, coming back in, you do exactly like what one of my classmates' mamas did when her daughter kept doing that, and she was supposed to be staying over at my house, I think for the weekend. She was like, you know what, just go get your stuff and bring it back over here. Because you over here, you over there. You over here, you over there. If you don't want to be over there, then stay here. Either way, now you have no choice but to stay here. Exactly. You either sit in the situation and get every lesson, blessing, breakthrough, and miracle that you meant to get out of it. But also stay aware of the fact that the day is going to come that it's over. And you shouldn't stay longer than you're meant to stay in it. And you're not meant to go longer than you were meant to go in it. Instead, you are meant to get what's needed, necessary, and required, and get out and get ready the entire time for starting over. Never close your mind to starting off. If anything, while you're in the middle of it, be plotting and planning your starting over period. Like, what am I going to do? When it's time to start over, what am I? And at that point, when you look at it from that perspective, and when your mind is open like a prairie from that perspective, what will happen is, especially you intuitive, your mind is open, you get the dreams, you get the daydreams, your clairvoyance is working, your intuition is vibrant, and your empathic abilities is on flink. It's like, okay, God, so when this is over, what am I supposed to do next? And he may be silent. Even from your side, even if the connection is super strong and powerful between him, you're supposed to keep that connection wide open. But that don't always mean that God is going to speak to you instantaneously. But he will start sprinkling some things like a few pinches of salt. He may start giving you a few pinches of salt. He may say, okay, well, after you get done with this, boom, let me give you a brief view of life's coming attractions. And let me show you what you're preparing for. I may not show you the job that you're going to be working. I may not show you the business that you're going to be working. I may not show you the relationship that you're going to end up in. But I'm going to show you that you are going to end up in a relationship. I'm going to show you that you are going to start a new business. I'm going to show you that you are going to move into a new house. I'm going to show you that you are going to go to another state. I am going to show you a preview of life coming things. And that is not the job of you. And he's got to be able to trust you at this point too, y'all. This is not for you to start figuring out the how. And that's the next part that we get wrong. Between loss and starting over, we believe that even when we are that connected to God, that booed up with Jesus, and he starts to speak to us and tell us things that try to calm our spirit and also to surprise our spirits, like give us a little jolt, basically. a little zzz, a little jolt. He shows you the things that's coming. And then instead of you just focusing on how you feel or what it is that you need to be doing to yourself and for yourself to prepare yourself and train yourself for what's coming, you start trying to stick your hands in the pot to figure out the how to make these things happen. When in reality, he never asked you to do that. He trusted you enough to show you this, to say, look, you gonna have this in a minute. Like, look, you gonna have this in a minute. Like, this is what's coming. This right here is what's coming. So therefore, since this right here is what's coming, you can go ahead and clear your mind out about the fact that this stuff right here is leaving. That this stuff got to go. You can be more peaceful about it. You can enjoy it as the ride comes to an end. You can be preparing yourself for what when it comes to an end and what's going to get started up. And you can look at and examine your own heart, mind, body, spirit, and soul, and even including praying about it. Like, Lord, examine my heart. Allow me to be able to examine my heart. Bring everything to the surface out of my mind, body, spirit, and my soul, and my heart that needs to be released. What I need to heal, what I need to move on from, what I need to add into myself. What word is it for me that I need to swallow whole and start being able to live that life according to your riches and glory? How should I be renewing my mind right now to prep and prepare for these new things that you telling me is coming in? How? What do I need to heal from this situation that's coming to an end that could become a problem either when I transition over to my next thing or few 15, 16 things down the road, I will end up having to come back to this space, whether it's just mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually, financially, or socially, in order to take care of whatever I'm not taking care of now, in order for things to line up for me down there then. When it's time for me to start over again, or when I have built something and created something again, or when it's time for me to go somewhere, be somebody, and pay attention. I can't because of this thing right here in this time that I'm about to be walking away from, that you about to be walking me away from. I want to deal with all this now so I ain't got to worry about dealing with it later. I want to pay for this right now so I don't have to worry about paying for it later. Got me? Okay. So, your mother, your best friend, your sister, and daughter in one was gone. The life you knew disappeared overnight. Lesson. Rock bottom became your meeting place with God. Didn't we say that earlier? When I took you out these situations, I didn't get the same communication from you. You know, those people that call you, and y'all know, somebody call you to borrow some money and do this, that, and the third when they need you. But you don't hear from this person at least once a week. You don't hear from this person at least once a month. You don't have this person pulling up to your address just to say, you know what, dog, I ain't seen you in a long time. We got to connect. Like, what's good with you? What's been going on? You good? Like, I'm doing a wellness check. Like we do in the industry I work for as a PCA. Our bosses will do a wellness check or wellness phone call. Exactly. I'm doing a wellness check. I ain't here to buy no sugar. I'm good. I don't need to buy no gas money. I'm alright. I don't need to sit here and pour my problems on you. My mental state of mind is in great shape. I'm actually here checking in on you, checking out your mental state. I'm checking out what's going on with you. Are you good? I ain't heard from you in a while. Are you all right? How is your world going? Do you need somebody to talk to right now? And if you don't, it's all good. It can be hugs and giggles. It can be hugs. It can be kisses. It can be, I'm going to see you later. You better text me, boy. You better text me, girl. Make sure that I know that you good, or I'm going to have to pull up on you and do another wellness check again. Like, think about it. But when you know, and I'm not saying you need to do a wellness check with God, and if you do, it's from your side always. It's for your benefit, it's not his. Because he wants to hear from you on a consistent basis in a relationship style so that when the darkest time does come, when the depressions does come, when the pressure is rising, it ain't too hard for you to instantly come to him then. But when you have not been there, the first things that come out your mouth, God, I know I ain't talked to you in a while. Why? God, I know I didn't ask you about this thing before I did it. Why? Lord, I know that, I ain't took the time to just praise you and worship you, or to just sit in my living room and light a candle, a blunt, or whatever the situation may be, and sit down and talk to you and see what you got going on and tell you what I got going on. My heart has been heavy. I've been depressed. I've been confused. I've been lost. I've been broken. I've been hurt. My feelings have been hurt. I've been having all these stuck emotions on the inside, but God, I can't cry, or whatever the situation is that you are having. All those things, even the good things, like, oh, I had a blessed day today. I saw these people. I tried this food. I traveled to this location. I woke up this morning, clothed in my right mind. I watched that TV show. I made love to my husband or my wife, or whatever the situation may be. He don't care what you come to him to talk to him about, as long as you keep the relationship flowing, so that when it's time for you to flow left or flow right, it's easy for you to flow to him and say, okay, God, which way? And because you're so used to hearing from him, you're so used to what it feels like in your mind, your body, your spirit, and your soul, that even in the sign of danger, even when the pressure is high, you can still hear from him. You can still see him. You can still comprehend and understand what he's doing, because he's the how, right? God is completely in control of the how. So if he's completely in control of the how, whenever you going through something, you got a problem, but he know how to solve it. You got an issue, but he already have everything worked out. You in pain, well, he got the healing for you. But God, no matter the circumstance or situation, but God. Job 121. The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Exactly. Because in reality, and I know a lot of people gonna want to throw some mud at me, I don't care. God gives you your circumstance and situation. Some of them you bring them on yourself, but also just as many of them he gives them to you. Because if he didn't want those things to happen, they wouldn't. It's like something that my mate said to me, I want to say last year. We had gone to the thrift store in another town over, and I just kept going on and on about this coffee table. I was like, you know what? This coffee table would have been perfect in our living room. And it would have. Especially with this couch. We only had that couch at the time. We got this one now that I'm sitting on. But we only had that one at the time. And I just had this little vision, because I had the couch that's at the chair that's actually in my room. I had that over here. So I was looking at the vision of, okay, boom. If that little coffee table, nice wooden coffee table, was right here in this section, I was like, that would have flew, because we needed somewhere. Like, we had these little tables like what I got y'all sitting on right now. We still have them, but we had those, and I was cool with those. But I'm a girl. I'm a girly girl. I'm a woman. This is my first house and home. So I want my house and home to be completely laid, laid. Like, I want it laid. And so for me, that coffee table would have been perfect. You know what my husband said to me? I tell you what he said. What he said was, babe, if we go back to that store and that coffee table is still sitting there, then that was our coffee table. But if we go back to that store and that coffee table is not there, that wasn't our table. He's just one of them people where he just say what it is. How he feel, what he think, what his opinion is. His answer he gets from God. He adds no salt, no sugar, just the tea, just like a girl. And guess what? I didn't choose that man. God did. And he told me really a few years before I met this man that I was about to get married. He told me about this man. He chose it. I didn't choose this man. I did not choose him. He chose me. And that's what I always believed was the right order of things in the first place. And I got exactly what I always believed was the right order of things. Just like that table. Now, it's actually a table right here. It is not a wooden table. It is a plastic table. But ask me if I have a problem with this table. I'm going to tell you I don't have a problem with this table. And I'll tell you why. A few weeks ago, my uncle actually blessed us with 2 chairs. 2 back chairs. Not plastic chairs like what we've been having to sit on, but 2 wooden cloth, almost king and queen size chairs. One of them is sitting here and the other one is in my bedroom. But if I wanted to, I could bring the other one out of my bedroom, and it's the perfect fit for this table. If we sat at this table, if I put a tablecloth on this table, we could have a whole entire feast on this table. Now, if we was doing that on the coffee table, now the reason why I say that is my kitchen is not necessarily sit down friendly. Like, there is no room and no space for a table or a chair in my kitchen. If I was gonna have an event or something, the food may be in the kitchen, but people have to make plates and come into my living room because there's no space in my kitchen unless you're gonna stand in the middle of everything. And if you got a large group, that's just not gonna work because not even 15 people can fit in my kitchen. I got a nice size kitchen, but it's not an eat-in kitchen. God blessed me with this plastic table for little or nothing compared to whatever it was gonna cost me to get that other table. That other table might have been cute, but this table is more functional. Not everything in my mate is what I asked for. And I would have cheated myself because everything that's in my mate is what I needed. Just like everything that's in me is what he needs. And you put us together, that's 100%. I'm 100%. And boom, we hitting 200. And with God added into it, we a million. He brought us together, and no man and nothing could tear us apart except him. And we literally put that seal and that prayer over ourselves, over each other, and open our hands to God to do the same. So I'm telling you that you have to deal with loss, and you have to see loss for what it is. Loss is not a death sentence. Loss does not mean it's over. And I understand feeling some type of way about starting over. Trust me, I'm one of those people. When I've been in really good sweet spots in my life, I just wanted to change a few things and I wanted to keep what I had. When in reality, a lot of what I had was temporary. And not just temporary because it itself was temporary. It was temporary because God was like, no, I got more. And if I let you stay in this, you can't have the more. If you stay here, I can't push you and I can't mold you and I can't shift you and I can't put you in rooms that you was always meant to be in. I put you in these other places for training. I put you in these other places. I put you in Goshen for protection. I put you in Goshen to make sure that you never went without water and food. I put you in Goshen to take care of you and yours. But now I got to give you and yours what was already promised. The Abraham and Sarah in your lifeline that prayed for, that asked for, that fasted for, that worshiped for, that believed for, that trusted for, that manifested, all those blessings coming all the way down the line until it hits you. All those blessings are supposed to be what's overflowing your cup because you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for them. What your great grandmamas and great granddaddies and great uncles and great cousins and all that didn't get, I have those blessings to bestow upon you. I have those businesses to bestow upon you, the communities, the groups, the movements. I have that purpose, those purposes. They are all within you. Just like you, all of what you don't do, what they didn't do, what they didn't get, what you don't do, what you don't get, it has to go forward, forward, forward into the next generation, the next generation, to the next generation, and to the next generation, and it's going to keep going. So no, I can't allow you to stay stuck and stagnant where you are. I can't allow where you are blessing and pouring out and pouring out and pouring out. And all of these people is getting blessed like the people just outside the city of David was being blessed when they left the ark out there for 30 days. And that place that had been poor became prosperous and abundant. And David was like, no, almost like H now. I need to go get that ark like I always planned to and bring it up here to this city, to the city of David, so the city and day of David can receive the anointing. The same thing God is saying. I got to take the blessing that is you and I got to put you somewhere that others are going to be blessed. You're going to be blessed and the blessings is just going to keep pouring over. And then you're going to move on to the next place and the next place. And that is loss. Losing something, letting something go in order to receive something new, starting over. Activation, learning that faith without foundation leads to collapse, but rebuilding with God leads to restoration. Wherever God did not build, but He allowed, When the day comes for you to start over, he gonna take a jackhammer, he gonna take a sledgehammer, and he gonna do like Robert Irvine when he tells somebody to take out a wall and they don't listen to him. He put a big tail hole in that wall, so at that point they ain't got no choice but to do something about that wall. He don't take no for an answer, and neither does God. When he says, I got something for you, and if you gonna make me, I'm gonna burn down everything you care about, everybody you care about around you, just to make it so that you know that even if you wanted to stay and you felt like you had to stay, I done made it impossible for you to stay. Now you have no choice but to go. It shouldn't have had to come down this far, because you should have just had that regular going relationship with me that you created with me when you was at the bottom. But by the time you got to the top, you just let it become lukewarm. You allowed this coffee to become room temperature, and then you chose to try to put some powder creamer in there and some sugar. And anybody that's ever done something like that, if you've ever done that, you know exactly what that looks like. You know what it smells like, and you know what it tastes like. And you know it don't taste right. You know it don't look right, and you know it ain't right. And that's exactly what this situation is. It's not right. And God will put it in a situation for you to make you look, to make you listen, to open you up, to open your eyes, to allow you to be able to see. So that you can, in fact, start over. And I'm going to leave this message with you. I love y'all. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I'm probably going to chop this thing up. So if you find this one and it hit your soul, then just maybe you need to go backwards and go look at the very beginning. I'm going to chop them up. But if I were you, that's what I would do. Okay? I love you. God bless you. And I hope y'all have an amazing day. You heard me?